Today I'm going to talk about practicing arpeggios to get to know your fingerboard. And in this instance I'll take an ordinary C7 arpeggio, C, which is the root note, E, which is the third, G, fifth, B flat, minor 7. So this is called the root position. 1, 3, 5, B7. And then we are taking the first inversion, starting on the next step of the chord, in this example on the third, and playing like this. So 1, 3, 5, flat 7, and the first inversion is 3, 5, flat 7, 1. I'm playing the octave, but it's still the 1, the root note again. So it's. And then the second inversion is starting on the fifth. Already here you can see I have to change position. So just in a little while we're gonna figure out the best way of playing the different inversions on the bass. There's many different ways. So again, the second inversion starting on the fifth. So it's 5, flat 7, root, third, and then the last inversion starting on the 7th. So we have okay, of course, the first thing you can do is, now we're starting on the 3rd fret, we move the C to the E string. Like this. And then you can of course practice this up and down, and then start to figure out different kinds of ways of playing these arpeggiated chords, the C7. For instance, I started in the root position here, and actually if I look at the pattern, I started on the playing one note on a low string, the A string, then playing 2 notes on the next string, which is the D, and 1 note on the next string, which is the G. If we take that pattern, 1 note on one string, moving to the next string, playing 2, and moving to the next string and playing 1 note. If we transfer that to all the inversions, we get some more interesting fingerings, for instance. And then we do the same, we find the next note in the chord, the E, and we're going to play it on the A string here. So we're going to use the same pattern, 1 note on the A string, 2 notes on the D string, and 1 note on the G string. So it sounds like this. So we have so it's the same kind of pattern, and you're doing the same thing in your right hand. If I say if I'm playing with 2 fingers, I say 1, 2, 1, 2. Do the same here. 1, 2, 1, 2. And then we move the pattern again to the next note in the arpeggio, which is, we have the first, the second, from the 5th. G, B flat, C, E. So it's and then we move to the next note, the last note, which is a B7, flatted 7. So we have played the root position and the 3 inversion. Do it again. And then we can end by playing the root position an octave above. And when we have this pattern, then we see, can I use a hammer on or pull off somewhere? Okay, of course, on the D string where we have like 2 notes, use a hammer on there. So you can see there's many ways and many fingerings for a given arpeggio. Also, when you practice your arpeggios, try to start on the lowest note on your instrument. That means if we're playing a C7 arpeggio, and it consists the root position of C, E, G. Okay, E we have here, and that's the first inversion. We can also play that an octave below because we have the bottom E string. So let's play the arpeggio again from the lowest note on the instrument. That was the first inversion. Then comes the second from the fifth. And then comes from the flat 7. I'm using the open string here, so we have the root position again. Again, try to figure out the best fingerings. In this instance, imagine we're playing a walking bass line or something like that. Then all of a sudden we have all these arpeggiated notes at our disposal. For instance, if I was playing this kind of walking, now I'm only using the notes from the C7 chord. No chromatic notes, no scalar notes, nothing. It sounds a little clumsy, of course, but it's just an exercise in using the arpeggio. Say I was playing some kind of jazz tune, so I would play, for instance, 1, 2, 3, 4. For instance, and we can take the whole thing an octave up, find the highest note of the C7 chord is on my P bass here, that only goes to a E flat, that was the root note. Let's try another chord, for instance the F7 chord. Let's try the same principle and return to that pattern where I play one note on the bottom string, 2 notes on the next string, and 1 note on the third string. So it's, let's move that up, starting on the next inversion on the third. It's the same thing I did for the C7. Here was C7, here is F. Do it again with a hammer on, perhaps. And then we're back in the root position here. We can just take the first inversion here. We can just about take the next inversion. So we have, and we have this. We can of course also stay in the position we're in and see how many notes we can get. In this case the F7 chord. Okay, that's okay. We are in the next position here. They can shift down here, but I could also do this. And when I'm here with my finger, I can also. Okay, and then I found a new way of playing the arpeggio up instead of saying. I can do this. You should always, when you try to learn something new, see if you can find some different fingerings for that pattern, different ways of playing it. That will really help you getting to know the fretboard, and because you know an E flat is also here, it's also here. So it's a really good idea to explore everything you know already by heart to find new fingerings for it. And that can also come inconvenient. For instance, if you have this still in the C7, you just play the C to the B flat. This pattern could also be played like this. And sometimes it's you can phrase something better by doing the one or the other. For instance, if I say, here I use a pull off or hammer on, and of course it's best to play these two notes on the same string, but if I wanted to play this pattern, it's more fluent on two strings than playing this. Okay, now we are talking a little bit about phrasing and individual notes, but this lesson was just to get you started with playing arpeggios for different chords. See you next time. Hi.